And a good Tuesday morning to you. I'm Meteorologist Payton Malone for your August 16th, about 10 a.m. update on what's going on out in the tropics. We're midway through August. We are getting into that kind of heart of hurricane season here, but fortunately things are still somewhat tame. Now we're watching a couple of things. We'll start with a wide view here of what's going on in the entire Atlantic basin. There's a couple tropical waves rolling off of Africa, or rolling out of Africa, not highlighted right now. There's an upper level low spinning off the east coast. There's actually a chance that may try to organize into a subtropical system in the next couple of days. We'll see what the Hurricane Center does with that. And then down in the Caribbean, that is the one we're watching closer to home and in the Gulf of Mexico. So what it's doing right now as of this morning, it is a broad tropical wave producing some disorganized showers and thunderstorms. You can see it sitting off the west or the east coast of Nicaragua and Honduras. That's going to be moving up to the northwest, and as that tropical wave rides over the land here, of course, it's not going to develop much in the next couple of days, but by Friday, it will enter the southwestern, extreme southwestern, also the Bay of Campeche, here in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. That's about Friday. Saturday and Sunday, it's somewhere down here, and it may try to organize some in those couple of days that it's over these warm waters. Big question right now is, does it actually get enough over the warm waters to organize some, or does it ride very close to land and just go into Mexico and that's it? It's just some moisture. Both of those scenarios are certainly possible as we go into the weekend, and keep in mind, this is still 4 or 5 days away from happening. So there's still some uncertainty here, but here's the way it looks right now. What is steering this? Well, there's a upper level ridge, mid-level ridge that's steering it off to the west right now and in the northwest. Watch what happens as we get into the end of this week and the weekend. See how that ridge gets stronger and starts to nudge off towards the west a bit more? That's what's keeping this thing in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. There's also a ridge that's going to be building on the northern side of this disturbance into the weekend as well. So right in here. So the big question right now is, does it turn more into Mexico like this, or does it travel a bit further up towards the north like that? How much it organizes is probably going to determine the exact track it takes. But generally, from Texas to Mexico seems like the most likely area to get some at least moisture from this system. Of course, you got to have a lot more to a system to organize than the warm Gulf waters. It looks like there could potentially be quite a bit of wind shear towards this weekend in the northern and western Gulf. Notice as we take it out in time by Friday, some wind shear, and then it really seems to ramp up by the end of the weekend. Lots of shear being detected there in the northern parts of the Gulf of Mexico right in here. So that's our ridge that's building in, and then those winds coming around on the eastern side of that ridge, lots of shear in there. So that could keep this thing from really developing at all, and could also just go ahead and push it into South Texas or Mexico and not give it a lot of time over water. That seems like what a lot of models seem to think is going to happen at this point. So that's the steering currents, and that is the shear we're going to be watching. You can see there that big plume of moisture with that tropical wave moving towards the Yucatan by around Thursday, getting into the southwestern Gulf by Friday. And then this is when it will have that chance to try to organize some as we go through the weekend. Now, if this tropical disturbance does get pushed into Texas, South Texas, Brownsville, or maybe even into portions of Mexico there, you can see it on our model. There's your big plume of moisture. Some of that moisture still may get pulled up to the northern Gulf Coast here, so we might see this enhance just slightly rain chances through this weekend. We're already expecting some rain chances, but this may add just a little bit of that tropical moisture to the atmosphere here, so something to watch. But right now, most trends have been for this ridge building in, our ridge building to the north here, and then sending it either into South Texas, right in there towards Brownsville maybe, or maybe not even making it into Texas and going into Mexico. Still lots of scenarios on the map here because, well, there's just lots of uncertainty with how this thing is going to evolve because it's a long ways out. It's 5 days or so. Now, remember, I say this a lot during hurricane season, especially in August and September. Just take it day by day. Things can change around. Models are jumping around, and there's a lot you're trying to diagnose here in a long term or a long ways out. So just something to watch at this point. But at this point, it does not look like a major problem the way it looks right now, but continue to check in every single day as we do get further and further into the heart of hurricane season. And remember, things can change day to day. If something looks like it changes, you'll want to make sure you're staying tuned for that. But that's the way it looks right now. We'll be keeping an eye on it for you. Next name, by the way, is Danielle. We will see what we get out of this by the end of the work week and into the weekend. But that's going to do it for your Tuesday morning around 10 a.m. Tropical Update. Thanks for joining. I'm Meteorologist Payton Malone.